So I even started recording. I'll upload once the class is done. So last class, we have been discussing about mean and median. I solved few questions, actual SAT questions based on mean and median. Now let me go ahead and discuss the next topics that are required as part of the SAT. So the next thing that you are required to know when it comes to SAT is, so you are required to know about mode, you are required to know about range, you are required to know about range, you are required to know about standard deviation. Most important, all the concepts are most important. You should know about box plot. You should also know about scatter plot. You should also know about random sample questions. Random sample questions. So these are the questions other than mean and median are generally required whenever you are trying to attempt an exam, or these are the questions that generally being asked. So now let us see how, let me take each and every topic. Let me explain what are the concepts behind that and how to approach those questions. Now, first, let me start with mode questions. So rarely I see questions based on mode is being asked. Mode is a very simple topic. So what is the meaning of mode? The number that occurs most number of times. The number in the given sequence, the number that occurs most number of times is said to be mode. For example, if I see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 2, 1, 9, 3. So clearly I can see the number 3 has come most number of times here. So the mode is 3. That's it. If you know that concept, you can do any question. Let me show you the actual SAT question that has come based on the mode, and we shall solve one question relevant to that. So I have a question here. These are all actual SAT papers. So here I can see a question here. Yeah. So according to your knowledge, try to give me answer for this. Please be fast as soon as possible. Type your answer in the chat box. So what should be answer for this question? What should be answer for this question? You please do check and type your answer in the chat box. So they had given a question here. The question is mean less than median, median less than mode. Something similar to that they have mentioned here. So according to you, what should be answered? So please do type your answer in the chat box. So very good. Who is this? Okay. Sidhu has given me answer. Lahari has given me answer. Mean and median we did in the last class. One or two who could not attend, I'll share the video. You can watch that video. Again, I'll repeat it later on. What should be the answer for this question? Yeah. Very good. Swati gave me answer. Mayuka, Harini, Abhiram, Alok, Hemant, Lahari, Sidhu. So these are the students. These are the students that have been. Harsha too gave me answer. Abhinav gave me answer. Okay, so if you have answered this and you know how to solve, very good. If you are not clear or you don't know how to solve, see how simple is this. So for all the things, a smart student does like this. Okay, Harsha changed answer. Aditya gave me an answer. Okay, perfect. So of all the things, mode is most easy. Why? Because what is the meaning of mode? Very good, Anand. You please call me after the class once, Anna. What is the most easiest thing to identify? The most easiest thing to identify here is the mode. So what is the mode here? Age is 18, frequency is 6, means 18 has come 6 times, 18 is 6 times, 19 5 times, 24 times. So the number that has come most number of times is 18. So definitely my mode should be 18. Now the next easiest thing to find in anywhere in this world is median. Now there are how many students in the class? 20. There are 20 numbers like 18, 18, 18, 18, 18, 19 has come 5 times, 20 has come 4 times, 21 2 times, 22, so on. If you count, there are 20 numbers. So what should be the middlemost number? 10th and 11th number. What is the 10th number? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 10th is also 19, 11 is also 19. So median should be 19. So definitely mode should be less than median. So mode should be less than median. This is wrong. So answer should be either A, B, or C. You don't have an option. Definitely you need to find mean too, but mean is the most easiest thing to find. Sum of the numbers by number of terms, 18 into 6 plus 19 into 5 plus 20 into 4 plus 21 into 2 plus 22 into 1 plus 23 into 1 plus 30 into 1 divided by 20. Definitely get a value greater than 19. So answer should be A for Agra should be your answer. If not, you can just try this once. You know how to find mean, sum of the terms by number of terms. Sum of the terms is so simple, 18 into 6. Very good. Most of you have given me the correct answer. So answer for this one should be A for Agra should be answer. So my intention of taking this question is I want to explain mode. Rarely I see mode questions, but I don't want to take even 1% chance. I want to cover every topic and everything that comes. So this is how we do the mode questions. Now, the most dangerous things that comes into the picture. Now, first let me tell about range. Range is also easy. Then I'll explain about standard deviation. Along with this video, I already have uploaded one more video, majorly questions based on standard deviation, because majorly students says me, sir, this topic is difficult, that and this they speak to me. So already I've uploaded a video on questions based on standard deviation and box plots. I want everyone to solve all those questions. I'll share that link also in the group after the class. Yeah. Now, next thing that I would like to do is, next thing that I would like you to know is range. Range is another part which is most important. So what is the meaning of range? So when I say range, it is simple thing. Range to me is highest value minus lowest value, as simple as this. Mode and range are the most easiest simple things in statistics. Highest value minus least value. So one thing you need to keep in mind whenever you are looking at the range questions, only when the highest and the least value change, the range changes. If not, the range will never change. If the highest and the low, suppose if the least and the highest same, if this is A and this is B, you are doing something in between, you are changing, increasing, decreasing in between. So it is not going to change the range. If the highest value is B and the least value is A, even after changing, if the highest value is B and the least value is A, range is same, as simple as that. So there are few questions based on the range too. Let me show you how the actual questions would be there. Then I go to some difficult concepts like standard deviation and all this random sample and everything. So now if I want you to solve questions based on the range, let me show you one question how it looks like. So I'll take range questions. This is how the range looks like. Section 10, section 4. I have a question here, 24th question. I remember strongly. Yes. 23rd, 24th, not 24th, I think then 10th. Yeah. Okay. So 10th is another question which I can see, but this is not also question based on the range. I'll just 1 minute. I'll try to show you questions on range. So range is highest value minus least value. I'll show you when I'm solving other questions. I'll come back. So please for now keep aside. But range is highest value minus least value. That's it. Now the most important thing starts standard deviation. Definitely in the latest papers, in every paper I'm seeing a question based on the standard deviation. Everyone should listen to me carefully. It is a simple concept. Unnecessarily student says that and this and they complicate the things. If not, standard deviation is the most important and are the easiest thing. Without pen and paper, most of you can solve the questions. Once I explain standard deviation, then I'll give you questions based on range and standard deviation. Okay, but listen to the concept carefully. It is there in the name itself. Standard deviation means how much the data is deviating from the central value. Deviation from central value. When I say central value, it can be either mean, median, or mode. But we take it as mean. Means if you are getting confused, leave all this. How much the given data is deviating? How far the given data is deviating? More and more if the data is concentrated. Suppose if I have a table like this, let me take two tables to make you understand. I'll make you understand. 20, 25, 26, 27, 30. Listen to me carefully. 1, 3, 5, 2, 1. So there are, I have drawn 12 items there, 12 numbers. This is the number and this is the frequency. Now the same table, I'm repeating number and frequency. 20, 25, 26, 27, 30. 3, 3, 3, 3 and 0 or 0 and 3. Assume. Same. Now, if I ask you which has more standard deviation, listen to me carefully, simple, unnecessarily, don't complicate the things. It's a very simple concept and pakka you get one question and most of you make mistakes because you don't understand the crux behind this. What exactly to be done when solving these questions. So what is the meaning of standard deviation? How well the data is deviating? So I'll explain this. Assume this is set A and set B. According to you, which has more standard deviation? According to you, which has set A or set B? Just type which has more standard deviation. I have drawn two sets on the whiteboard. According to you, which set has more standard deviation? Whatever you feel like, you can type. It is a democratic country. You can type whatever you feel like. Happily, you can type. Students, whatever you feel like, you type. Which has more standard deviation? Which has more standard deviation? Whatever you feel like. Very good, very good, very good. So Hemant gave me is the first one to give. He said A. Vardhan said B. Alok said A. Gurura said A. SSV said A. Harsha said A. Abhinav said A. Neha A. Abhiram A. Anant no deviation. Samhit A. Siddharth B. Swati B. Lasya B. Harini A. Venela A. Satvik B. Aditya A. Lahari A. So I got some answers on the whiteboard. My question is, I gave you two tables. Which table will have more standard deviation? So simple, but 90% of you gave me wrong answer. How come A will have more standard deviation here? Definitely B will have standard deviation. You're not understanding the crux. Now at least listen to me carefully. At least draw in terms of dots and show you. Assume 20 has come once, 1 dot. 25 has come 3 dots, 3 times. 26 has 5 dots, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 27 has 2 dots. 30 has 1 dot. Now take this table B. 20 has 3 dots. 25 has 3 dots. 26 has 3 dots, means it came 3 times. 27 0 times. 30 again 3 dots. Clearly I can see more data is here. Data is closer and more data is here. So definitely set A will have less deviation. I can see data is here, data is here, data is everywhere in the set B. Simple. Standard deviation means if the data is more and more closer, I can see most out of data, most data is here itself. I can see data is here, data is here. More deviation is there in set B than set A. So set A will have less standard deviation. Set A will have less standard deviation when compared to set B. Okay. So set A will have less standard deviation when compared to set B. Okay. Set A will have less standard deviation. Uh, who gave different answer? I asked you which has more standard deviation. So your answer should be set B. But 90% of you give set A. You are thinking set A will have less standard deviation than set B because in set A, most of the data is closer. Okay, at least now I hope you understand what I am speaking. So which of the following has greater standard deviation? Which of the following has greater standard deviation? B, because the data is deviated everywhere. Understand the basic. If you understand this basic, you can do any question. For example, let me show you actual questions. So when you ask me, I just know this simple principle. Give me any question, I can rock and solve any question. So I'm taking actual questions, and I have updated many of my questions in the channel. Just log in and watch that video, solve all the questions sincerely. You'll become perfect in this topic. So let me show you actual questions, how they look like on standard deviation, right? So if I take a question here, yeah. So I think we discussed list A and list B. Which has more standard deviation? In list A and list B, there is a question here, question number 11. Which has more standard deviation? List A and list B. Two lists are displayed on the whiteboard. Which list has more standard deviation? Just type the number that has more standard deviation. I just want the number. Everyone should give it correct. If you give it correct, you got it. If not, you'll get stuck. Everyone should answer which has more standard deviation. Understand my question. There are two lists there. Which list has more standard deviation? Well, students, everyone should give me answer. I am asking a simple question. Which list has more standard deviation? According to you, which list has more standard deviation? Again, people, which list has more standard deviation? How come list B, Amma? What if people are saying list A has more standard deviations? Because if I see list A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this has come once, 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 this has come once. If I see list B 1, no, 2 has come once, 3 has come 2 times, 4 has come 2 times, 5 has, clearly the data is more closer. So B will have less standard deviation. Understand the basic. Where the data is closer, that will have less standard deviation. Where the data is deviating, more standard deviation. Where the data is deviating, clearly in list A, at least I'm giving the graphical representation. At least when I'm giving graphical representation, you should think, not just give something simply. So if I give you two lists, unfortunately, they're asking if they're same or different, but they'll ask you, they'll give two lists. Option A will be standard deviation of A is greater than standard deviation of B. Option B is standard deviation of B is greater than. Option C is both are equal. Option D is cannot be determined. So definitely I'll go standard deviation of A is more than standard deviation of B, because in B the data is closer, in A the data is spread everywhere. I hope you understood at least right now. Let me give other question. Based on that, I can judge whether you have understood this or not. So I have one more question. I'm telling you actual questions. Here, if I take, this is a bit complicated question. Simple, but very few can answer this question. This is a question based on both standard deviation and range. This is a question that is based on, these are all actual SAT questions. You'll get similar questions in the exam. Yeah. Try to give me answer for 28th. Try to give me answer for 28th question. Everyone in the class should give me answer. Start. Your time starts now. You take 2 minutes, no problem, but you need to give me answer for this question. Start. Very good. 2 students gave me answer. Everyone take your time, but give me perfect answer. It is a question based on both range and standard deviation. So if you can answer this properly, you understood both the concepts. And if you can answer this question, I'm sure you can solve any question that comes in the actual exam. Good. Very good. Everyone should give me answer. Focus, give me your answer. I'll be very happy. Yeah. Very good. I think 20 students gave me answer. That 7, 8 students, remaining students also should give me answer. Let me see the answers that I got on the board. Hemant gave B, Mayuka D, Harini B, 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 D, 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 B, D, D, B, 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 D, 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 C. Only one student gave me C, D, 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 B. Okay. Rest of all, okay, he also changed it to B or D, I think. So most of you gave answer as B or D. I should see why there is a confusion between B or D. First, now let me focus. See the question, what it is asking about. So this is set 1 and this is S2. This range is R1, range is R2. Clearly, I can say S1 should be less than S2. Or I can also say this is one of the very good questions. Students are very active. Venkat taught us very well. So S1 should be less than S2. The only option with S1 less than S2 is B. So let us mark B for Bangalore. Definitely you might go wrong. Correct. S1 is less than S2 is also can be written as S1 is not equal to S2. Both are same. Correct, right? These both interpretation went the same. Same means this is also correct. I can also say S1 is not equal to S2. And let me calculate the range. 88 minus 56. 88 minus 56 is 32. When I calculate here, this is also 32. So D for R1 is not less than R2. R1 is equal to R2. The only option, whoever gave answer as D for Delhi, you people are doing extremely good job. Who gave B for Bangalore? I'm very happy. You understood what is the standard deviation, but you are neglecting range. That is the reason you got this question wrong. But I'm happy 20 to 20, 25 students gave me answer. Only 3, 4 are not giving answer. It is up to you. If you're just sitting in the class, I can't do anything. So most of you gave answer, and most of you gave answer as B or D, and most of you gave slowly realized D. You are very active in the class. I'm very happy. So answer for this one should be S1 less than S2 is also correct, or S1 is not equal to S2, but at the same time R1 should be equal to R2. So the option, the best possible option here is D for Delhi is the best possible option. You need to give D for Delhi in the exam. Okay, yeah. There are many more questions. I'll send you the link for that video, which I only have created many questions. You please do solve them. You'll become perfect in this concept. Okay, yeah. Now, next, one thing I would like to explain it to you. This is also coming frequently as part of the exam. Box plot. So just keep it as box plot. Box plot. Yeah. Box plot. So what is the meaning of box plot is right now I don't have any questions here, but I'll share that video, then you can solve. But understand the concept now. It's a straightforward concept, but only you need to know this terminologies and what is exactly is box plot, then you can solve any question on this. If you are clear with today's class, I can assure you, you can happily go to the exam and you can have 2 to 3 questions in your pocket. Most of them make mistakes because they don't know these concepts. You are lucky enough, you are getting every concept in detail, understand, practice, go to the exam. These are the difficult concepts for many students when it is so simple. Okay, yeah. Next is box plot. So box plot means a plot that is looks something similar to this, like a box. So now let us understand what are the terminologies that you are required to know here. Suppose if I have a data, my data is 2, 5, 10, 25, 32, 39, 51, 60, 72, 85, 93, 100, 121, 150. Assume I wrote something on the whiteboard. So if this is my data, see how I am going to represent this in terms of the box plot. So this in the given data, first you need to arrange the data in an order. This data, this point always represents the minimum value in the given data. This value always represents the minimum value. So minimum value is 2. So this dot is 2. This dot always represents the maximum value in the given data. So the maximum value in the given data is 150. So this point always represents the maximum value, which is 150. Now, what does this represent? Median for the entire data. See how many terms are there? 3, 6, 9, 12, 14. So when there are 14 terms, we know 7th and 8th terms are the middlemost terms. 7th and 8th terms are the middlemost terms. So what is the 7th term? 51. What is the 8th term? 60. So 51 and 60 are the middlemost terms. So take average of those two terms, 51 plus 60 by 2, which is 111 by 2, which is 55.5. So this represents this is also called as Q2. Q2 also called as second quartile. Second quartile is also called as median. So this represents the median and the median value is 55.5. Try to understand me, simple things. I'm trying to explain you as best as you can. If you cannot understand, please ask me to repeat. I'll try to repeat. So this always represents the minimum. This always represents the maximum. It is so simple. We are very clear about this. Then what is this represents? This represents Q2 or the median or the second quartile. This represents the Q2, median or the second quartile for the entire data. Median, Q2 or the second quartile. Now then what does this represent? The first quartile. What is first quartile? So try to find median of this data. Try to find median for this data. What is the median for this data? 6 numbers are there, means third and fourth. Mid value of third and fourth is 20 plus 50, 10 plus 25 by 2, which is 35 by 2, which is 17.5. So this value always represents first quartile or 17.5. Then what does this represent? Q3 or the third quartile. So third quartile is 93 plus 100 by 2. 93 plus 100 by 2 or 193 by 2. 193 by 2 is 96.5. Yes, 96.5. 96. So minimum value, maximum value, median for the entire data, median for the first 50% of the data, median for the next 50% of the data. try to understand. I'll teach you few more things here. Slowly, step by step, I'm going in detail into this, which you as a student should know each and every terminology, because these days I see you are getting questions frequently based on this one. Which one? Box plots. You are getting questions based on the box plots. Okay. Yeah. Now you're getting questions based on the box plot, right? Now I have drawn a box plot. I'm redrawing the box plot here. This is minimum value. This is the maximum value. This is Q2 or the median for entire data. This is Q1 or the median for first 50% of the data. This is Q3 or the median for the next 50% of the data. Median for next 50% of the data. Okay. Now I need to know few more things here. Listen here carefully. They ask you the range. They give box plot and they might ask you range maximum minus minimum value. Maximum value minus the minimum value. They might ask you interquartile range. Interquartile range. Interquartile range means Q3 minus Q1. Q3 minus, you should know these terminologies. Q3 minus Q1. So from minimum value to this point, 25% of the data lies. Total is 100%. From this point to this point, 25% of the data lies. From this Q2 to Q3, 25% of the data lies. 25% of the data lies, because this is the median for the entire data, means from here to here, 50% of the data lies. Correct, right? So from minimum value to Q1, 25% of the data lies. So 25% of the data lies from 2 to 17.5. So from 17.5 to 55.5, again 25% of the data lies. From here to here, again 25%. From here to again 25%. So from between Q2 to Q3, 25% of the data lies. From Q3 to maximum, again the 25% of the data lies. So you are required to know these concepts. Unfortunately, the papers I have, I don't have any questions, because these are bit old papers, 2016 and 17, updated in the College Board website. But in the latest papers, whichever you see or observe, or whichever when you discuss with the students, once they write exam, immediately they come and tell us there are questions based on the box plots. And these are the concepts that are required to solve a box plot question. Okay, very good. Now let me go to the next and the most difficult concept for students, are the concept that students make mistakes. Questions based on the random sample and margin of error. Listen to me carefully for next. I'll take some extra time here, not 15-20 minutes, just some extra time. So random sample and margin of error. 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 So this is another concept. I'm sure 90% of students will make mistakes, not unnecessarily, because they don't know the terminologies and the way they need to prepare for the exam. According to me, most important, and minimum you get one question. Rarely you'll get two questions, but even one question is too important for us. So now let us see what is the random sample and margin of error and how to tackle these questions. This is most like English, mostly like theory part. I'll try to explain, but please, you should have 100% concentration and listen to me properly, so that you'll be able to solve any question as part of the exam there. Now let me say random sample. What is the meaning of random sample? Random sample. What is the meaning of random sample is, assume right now in the class 30 students are there, approximately 30 students are there. I want to know how many of you are understanding what I am teaching in the class. How many of you are understanding what I am teaching in the class? I know because the way you are answering in the questions, I know some of your students are good at math, assume, and they can answer. If I say, I know 3 to 4, assume I know 3 to 4 students who are very, very good or who knows the concepts well. I pick them and I ask them, are you understanding? And they say, and if they say they're understanding, so based on, since I asked 3 to 4 students from the same class, since they said understanding, and if I came to the conclusion that everyone in the class are understanding my lecture, I might be wrong. Same 30 students, I keep them in an order. I pick one student, one student, one student, one student. Without any unbiased, if I pick a random sample means you should be like a monkey. Monkey means close your eyes, pick things from here, there, wherever you want. Random. Then if I pick 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 students and ask them if they are able to understand, even in the random sample, if most of them says, or if all of them says understood, I can come to a conclusion. What is the conclusion? Most of my students likely to understand my classes, likely to understand. So this is correct statement. If I say all my students will understand my class, all my students are able to understand my class, are able to understand my class. This is a nonsense statement. Why? This is a damn sure statement. So how can you say all are able to understand? There might be a student who is attending the class right now, chatting with their friend. How can they understand? There might be students who are watching movie and listening to the class. How can they understand? So it is not, some students, even though they are understanding, they might actually will not be, nothing is going into their brain. How can they understand? So, or this, when you are doing a sample, this is called statistics here. In statistics, you should give general statements. You should never give damn sure statements. All my students will understand my classes. All my students will get 1500 or 1400. I'll become full end of the day. Most likely, same statement. Most likely, students who are attending my classes are able to understand what I'm teaching. Is 100% correct? Or most of our students are likely to get, or possibly they'll get a score of 1400, might be correct. So one thing you need to keep in mind is, you should always give most important. You should never ever select damn sure statements. Which of the, so they say Venkat is doing some survey, that is he took some 3 to 4 random sample of students who are attending his classes. Based on the outcome of the students, based on the outcome of the students, which of the following can be concluded? So you should always select the, first of all, what you should select first, for a data should be correct, random sample. If the sample is not random, your outcome of the experiment can never ever be correct. If I take 3 to 4 best students in the class, if I say they are able to understand, so everyone understand, it is more meaningless. Everyone will start complaining, okay, waste of going this class, I cannot understand anything. So if the outcome of the experiment should be correct, the sample you are taking should be always random sample. If you take random sample and you test on that, the outcome will be most likely correct. Okay, so for example, so some parents tell me that, sir, my student is getting 1400 in this test, 1400 in, I kept some 5 tests. Most of them is getting 1400, but in the actual exam is getting only 1200. Why this will happen? Because here you might be doing the test that you only know, you know the answers, or you are not doing it sincerely. Same thing can be applied here. What I meant to say here is, first point that you should keep in mind, for any experiment, if you are doing, outcome of the experiment should be accurate. What is the first point? The sample should be random sample. First point. Second point, in the outcome, you should never ever give damn sure statements. It should be like most likely, possibly. So those statements will be correct. Now, third statement, listen here carefully. I have now some 30 students. In scenario 1, I selected 3 to 4 random sample students. I selected 3 to 4 random students, 3 to 4. In scenario B, I selected 6 to 7 students random. Where my outcome of the experiment will be more accurate? In B, because my sample size is more. If the sample is random and if the sample size is more, outcome of the experiment or outcome or conclusion that you are making will be more accurate. Okay, I hope you are able to understand what I'm speaking. So first one, whenever you are doing any experiment, the sample you are taking should be random. If the sample is not random, the outcome will be always biased. I want to know who will win the local elections that is being conducted. Assume there are 3 parties, A, 4 or 5 parties, A, B, C, D, E. They're contesting a local election. I selected 100 people. Most of them voted for E. Most of them voted for C. And I asked them, I know wantedly I'm doing this. I selected those 100 students who voted for C. Then out of 190 said they voted for C. If I come to a conclusion, in local elections, C will win. My news channel TV prediction might go badly wrong. Why? Because I am biased. Why I'm biased? I'm not selecting these 100 random people from the village or the city. So I'm selecting the people. I am biased. I'm selecting the people who voted to C because I want to influence someone. So then definitely the outcome is biased, and outcome of the experiment will go wrong, or the decision or the conclusion you are making will not be correct. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Now, second thing is, here I said 30 students. I'm taking 3 to 4 random samples, 6 to 7 random samples. If I don't say next pointer, I'm going step by step. So far, I taught you only 3 points. You should always select the random sample. Second is, you should always give the polite statements, means you should never ever give the 100% damn sure statements. Third point I would like to say here is, more the random sample, your outcome, your conclusion will be correct. Take sample. If the sample size is more, outcome of the experiment will be accurate. I'm speaking the general life situations. Okay. Now, fourth point, then we'll solve questions. You will understand what I'm speaking and how the questions will be asked. I'll solve at least 5 to 6 questions with you. You make mistakes, no problem, but you understand, you recollect whatever I explained. If you cannot recollect after the class, watch this video again and again, understand my intentions, my words clearly, you'll be able to solve the questions. Fourth point that I want my students to answer is, to know is, I'm not mentioning you how many students I'm teaching. So in scenario A, I'm telling you 3 to 4 students, random sample I took. So so this is what is the question. When Venkat selected 3 to 4 random students from his class size, and most of them, they said they could understand what he is teaching. So which of the following conclusion can be made? Listen to my question carefully. From the Venkat's class, he took 3 to 4 random students and he asked them if they are able to understand what he is teaching, and most of them, they said they could understand. Which of the following conclusion can be made? The sample size is too small. The sample size is too small. Hence, the conclusion cannot be made. Hence, the conclusion cannot be made. All the students will understand his classes. The sample size is too big and conclusion can be made. None of these. So if the total size is not given, you should not say whether the sample size is small or big. How do you know? If there are only 5 students in my class, 3 to 4 is a big sample. If there are 5,000 students in my class, 3 to 4 is nothing. So if the total sample size is not given, if you do not know the total sample, you cannot say the sample size is too small or too big. You should not make any assumptions. Okay, please do keep these 4 points in mind, and I'll also explain what is margin of error. Please bear with me for some time. If I explain everything right now, it will be so confusing. So now I'll recap what I'm doing here. I'm teaching you simple things, real life things, which SAT is most interested in. You want to make some conclusion. The conclusion will be correct when the sample is random. First point. Second point, you should never ever say in the conclusion, you should never ever give 100% sure statements. You should not say 100% I'll get a 1600 or 100% I'll get 1500 or I'll get 1500. No, most likely I will get 1500 in the August 27th SAT exam. Might be correct. Even you get 1480, you are correct. If I say I will get 1500, even you get 1499, anyway it is not possible. You might get 1490 or 1500, 1510. You are wrong, because you said you will get 1500, you got 1490. So next is the statement should be polite. Third is, if the total sample size is not given, if the sample size is more and more, the outcome will be more accurate, or your conclusion will be more accurate. Fourth is, if the sample size is not given, don't make any conclusion that the sample size is too small or too big. Okay, so based on whatever explained so far, it might look a bit confusing to students, but it is very easy. Let me solve some 3-4 questions. Everyone will understand. Yes, you will appreciate the efforts that I've been putting here. So now let me take the questions that have come as part of the random sample questions that I'm seeing in the questions recently. Let me take those papers. Let me open any paper. Let me open. Okay. Let me open section 10 and let me delete everything here. Paper 10 is already open. So yeah, the population, the margin of error. So this is a question based on both margin of error and everything. So margin of error, I don't want you to do right now. I'll explain you in today's class or next class. Yeah. Question number 7. Everyone try your best. I'm telling you, right? Most of you will go wrong. SAT is all about that. Students should make mistakes and learn from the mistake. Then only you'll get perfect scores. Try to solve 7th question and give me your answer, but read the question carefully. Then I'll explain how to solve this question. Start. You have 1 minute to answer this or 2 minutes to answer this. Start. Question number 7. Yes. Good. Good. 5 students gave me answer. 5 students gave me answer. First one, Mayuka, she gave correct answer. Swati, Venela, Vardhan, Samit, Hemant, Gururaj, Alok, Harini, Harsha, Junaid, Lahari, Yashashvi, Abhiram. I'm very happy. Most of you are giving correct answer. 3 to 4 students give wrong answer. Everyone read the question, but I'm very happy. Most of you are giving correct answer. I'm challenging, give this question to a student who did not attend this class and see how many of you can solve. Most of them give wrong answer for this question because they have many interpretations in their mind. Very good, Anand. Perfect here. Abhinav, wrong here. Aditya, correct. Abhiram, okay. Shishvi, correct. Lahari, correct. Tonight, please redo. Arsha, correct. Alok, correct. Harini, correct. Gururaj, correct. Amit, correct. Vardhan, correct. Mayuka, correct. Okay. So, good number of students gave me answer. Now let me read the question and tell you how the answer should be there or how to answer this. So there is a retail company, big retail company, and Anushka, you did mistake, resolve. So there is a big retail company. It has 50 stores in Andhra Pradesh. It has 50 stores, or in Telangana it has 50 stores. A researcher for the company believes the employee job certificate varies from, definitely it varies from grade or whatever something. Which of the following sampling methods is most appropriate to estimate the proportion of all employees of the company who are satisfied with the job? I want to know how many of them are satisfied with the job. Selecting one of the 50 stores at random, I am biased. If this store is performing very well, everyone might be very happy at this store, or this store might be performing in worst case. Everyone will be sad at this store. So If the store is performing worst, if I survey the employees who are working there, they say no, the company is bad, they give less salaries, the timing is not good, they give so many complaints. If there is no, then if I come to the conclusion, so the employees who are working for this company are not at all satisfied with the company, owner come and beat me, right? Might come and beat me. So this is not the correct. If who are saying sample A, they're not at all following the rule. Selecting one, it is a completely biased. It is not a random sample. Since it is not a random sample, nowhere you should give A for Agra is your answer. Now come back to B for Bangalore. Selecting 10 employees from each store at random. I'm selecting 10 employees from each store, that too at random, and then surveying each employee selected. So now I have a good amount of random sample, might be correct, but don't rush it off. SAT always says select the best possible option. So B might be correct, might be. Surveying the 25, clearly biased. 25 highest might say they're very happy, or they might also say I'm not. So this is a biased data. C is nonsense data. A is better. Creating a website in which employees can express their opinion, very good. And using the first 50 responses, meaningless. Again, I am having a biased data here. So of all the options, definitely, if I want to get outcome of the experiment or what the company says or what the company can expect, definitely I should say B for Bangalore. So whoever I have given B for Bangalore as answer, you understood whatever perfect Siddhu and perfect understand now. So they understood me well. I'll give you more and more questions. I'll take you to more questions. I'll solve now. So let me open another test. You'll have minimum one question. Generally in section 4, I see these questions that come as part of this. SAT is very easy. SAT math and writing are dead easy. Even reading is easy. If you don't have reading habits, you have a bit problematic. If you have reading habits, even that is easy. Follow us blindly, you will get definitely very good scores. So, yeah, 23rd question. Take your time, read the questions because this is the most dangerous questions. There is no hard and fast rule to apply, but if you can remember what 4 points I said, most likely you'll make correct answer. Start. Seven students gave me answer. Very good. Everyone, all my students should get perfect score. So please do focus. 11 students gave me answer. Rocking. I'm very happy. 12. $15 students gave me answer. I don't know what answer they had given. Let me check. 15 has given this answer. Okay. I can see answer is tilting between option A and option B. Some of 50% are, I don't know how many have given B, but I can see A, B, 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 A, B, 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 A. Okay, so I think answer is oscillating between option A and B according to the students that they're given here. But let me read the question and let me say what should be answer according to me. Near the end of US cable news show, there is a show that is happening. We don't no need to worry what show it is. The host invited viewers to respond to a poll on the show's website that asked, do you support the new federal policy discussed during the show? So they're discussing some federal policy. Do they support or not? At the end of the show, the host reported that 28% responded yes and the 70% responded no. From the people who attended that show, 28% said yes and 70% said no. Which of the following explains why the results are unlikely to represent sentiments of the population of the entire United States? Why the outcome of this experiment cannot be correct? When the experiment cannot be correct, when the sample is biased, when the sample is not random sample, most likely, right? The percentage do not add up to 100%. So any possible. What is this nonsense here? Who are telling option A meaningless? Assume we don't know how many came for a news show. Some 100 people might have come, some 1,000 people might have come, or 1 lakh people might have come. That is not how. If it does not add to 100%, how we cannot say it here? Remaining 2% also say yes or no. Already 28% said yes, 70% said no. Even remaining 2% said yes. Yes or no, then we can make a conclusion. So A is meaningless. Those who responded to the poll were not a random sample of the population. So when you cannot say the outcome of the experiment is not correct, the sample is not random, that is what I've been shouting from a long time. So B for Bangalore is correct. Most of you said B for Bangalore, few said A. So who said B for Bangalore? I'm happy. Who said A? You need to rethink, understand the questions, not just randomly giving me some answer is not going to help you. Let me solve one more question, last question for the day. Then again in the next class, I'll solve more questions on this. I'll also solve questions based on the next class would be, I'll tell you what should I discuss in next week. So let me go to the next, this is, let me open other paper. Let me open other paper. Yeah. Okay. Be very careful here. If not, most of you will make mistake in this question. 24th, you need to be extremely careful. The wording of the question is very difficult. What they've made here. Okay. Bit complicated question, which you need to be very careful. If not, mostly likely you might make mistakes. Okay, everyone should give me answer whether it's right or wrong. We'll discuss, but read the question carefully and then we'll discuss. Perfect. Okay, okay, answers are flowing off. Okay, most of you had given one answer. All of you had given, I think 9 students have given answer except one student. Rest of all had given the same answer. Only one student mentioned something else. Very good. This is a difficult question, but very good. Harsha correct, Reni correct, Alok correct, Mayuka correct, Hemant correct, Vanilla correct, Abhinav correct, Aditya correct, Junaid correct, Yashashvi correct, Lahari correct, Samhit correct. Two things are important: answering it correct, initial stages, answering it correct, next stages. How soon you'll answer is more important than answering. Not more important, equally important. How soon you answer is also important. Very good. So very good. Whoever have given except one student, rest of you all given correct answers. So D for Delhi should be your answer. So very good. Lasya, Anand, correct. Only one student. Sidhu, you need to resolve it here. Okay, very good. So D for Delhi should be correct. Why D for Delhi should be correct is For a final of a TV show, viewers could use either social media or text messages to vote for their favorite of two. If the contestant receiving more than 50% of the vote won. So I can vote through either social media or through text messaging. So who win more than 50% of the vote won? An estimated 10% of the voters viewed. So assume let 10% be 100. Let 10% be 100. 100 people voted. And 30% of the votes were cast on social media. Out of them, 30% on social media. So 30 on social media. So definitely 70 were cast on social media. And the contestant 70% was cast using social media. 70 were using text message. Out of 30 messages, 70% of them means 21. Out of 30, how many of them? 21 were voted for contestant 2, and 40% of 70, which is 28. 40% of 70, which is 28. So he got 28 messages, 28 votes through text messaging, and 30% of 70, 21 messages through what is this? Media. Which media? Social media. Yeah. Based on this information, which of the following is an accurate conclusion? Which of the following should be accurate conclusion? So which of the following should be an accurate conclusion? If the viewers had voted, contest 2 would have won. However, even here it is only 49, so meaningless. Viewers voting by social media were likely to be younger than this. Is if anyone is answering B for Bangalore, I should beat them. B is completely meaningless. If all viewers who voted by social media instead of text message, contestant would have. How will have 1 year? Only 30% of them are voting. So then also you would have lost. Logical, right? Viewers voting by social media were more likely. Yes, out of 30, 21 have voted contestant 2. So who are voting were most likely to vote for 2. So D for Delhi is answer. Who have answered correct answer? You are very good. Means you are understanding the things properly. So perfect. Who made it wrong? Understand where you went wrong. It is good. But these are some typical questions, because in math generally I have a formula and a structure. These I don't know. These are like a reading comprehension questions. Okay. So
sir, once can you explain why option A is wrong?
If all is contested, even if all overs out of 100, how many are voted here? 21 plus 28. What is how much? 49. Out of 100, only 49 are voted. So definitely contestant 1 will not win, right? How contestant 1 will win? Even you take this scenario, how many are voted for contestant 2? 40% of 70, which is 28. 30% of 70, which is 21. 21 plus 28 is 49. Out of 100, only 49 are voting. Definitely he'll not win, but he's saying definitely contestant 2 will win, even if they are voting like that. So A is meaningless, B is completely meaningless, C is wrong because only 30% are voting. Out of means he'll receive only 30 votes out of 100. So of all the options, the best possible option I can see here is D for Delhi. Hence my answer should be D for Delhi. Okay. So in the next class, I'll solve more questions relevant to this, and I also send some video relevant to scatter plot, blocks plot questions. Solve them. Not scatter plot, box plot, and standard deviation. Solve them. Okay. Yeah. I'll see in the next class here. Yesterday there was a confusion with English class. I know during the class itself. Sorry for that. There is a small disturbance from teacher end. So next class it will be 100% perfect. Please do attend the class. You'll be able to understand everything that she teaches. If possible, I'll try to arrange an extra class. If possible, I'll arrange, because everyone time should match, right? Okay. All the best here. If possible, next Wednesday you'll have extra class. I'll speak and I'll arrange. Please be ready. Take care here. Please do practice. All the best. Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome. Bye.
Thank you, sir.